It's Alysia, Nora, and Macy on our little green couch.
Ready to talk weekly gossip from behind the chair.
Have a drink or 10 and get ready for the journey.
Join us on the floor with little Fern.
We are live. Hello. Welcome to Little Fern. Grab your bevy. Come on in. It's just me tonight. You're going to just listen to a straight hour of soothing Allie. Nora's having technical difficulties. Come on in, though.
I'm on the line.
Okay, my mic is hot. We're listening to some nice meditation by Alysia. Anyways, guys, it's another Wednesday. The windows are open and the weather is feeling amazing.
It's feeling weathering.
The weather is weathering.
It's spring. Hopefully cicadas won't be coming for us for a moment so we can still listen to the lovely rumblings of the cars as they drive past instead. Come on in.
Yeah, shout out to you, Nolan. We're gonna keep those pests away from you. We got it. Get you a nice fly swatter.
Grab your bevy. I'm drinking a lovely rosé.
Let's bring in this evening.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm too far away from these hoes to cheers.
Yeah, Alysia doesn't like us. She's social distancing from us. We're back in COVID era. Kill me now. I'm drinking some rosé. We're actually all drinking the same rosé tonight.
We are. What are we drinking?
The beach.
It's the beach.
It's really good. I've been feeling the wine recently. I've been really boozing it up with the wine, and it just tastes amazing. And I'm just feeling so good. My toesies are out, and I'm just loving life at the moment.
Toes out.
Do we all also have our toes out?
The dogs are out right now. They're
Wow. They're ready. They're coming. That's how you know it's spring, is that all the dogs are out.
You know how you know it's spring? Yesterday, Alysia had one of her male friends from high school come in, and he's sitting in the chair. I looked down. Not only is he wearing slides, but his dogs are out in the slides. And I said, that is how you know.
He also had on an amazing Hawaiian printed shirt.
He's got the blouse on and the sandals.
He has a style of his. I know who you're talking about, and you don't even have to say his name.
You know exactly you know exactly who it is.
Like, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
I'm picturing him.
Oh, it was just amazing. It was amazing. It was great. We talked planting. We talked flowers. We talked gardening.
We did. We were really into, like, he was like, every 5 seconds, he was like, Alysia, I have time. I have a load of time. Do you want time? I can give you time. Alysia, I have this. Do you want this? Oh, lilies. I have an overgrowth of lilies. And I was like, he's really wanting you to, like, take some plants off of his fucking, like, load.
He will garden for you. He will bring it in. He will also make you things from his garden. And as our other friend was in, not from the same friend group, from Luke's friend group, was in getting her hair done, she said, I felt like I just went to a master class. Like, I felt like I just learned so much. She was also she was Googling them at the same time we were talking about them. And then she was showing us pictures and she was like, is this what you guys are talking about?
I love people like that because it's like that person that's like, I really love this song, and they like quickly Shazam the song on their phone. And I just have like a really innate like love for people like that.
That I 100% do that.
I do too.
I will 100% be like, yeah, I love that song too. Meanwhile, I'm Googling the fucking song because I don't want to feel like I don't belong.
I respect it. I just think it's so silly when like you see somebody Shazamming a song. Or like for me, in my case, like I like really get like a line and then I type it into Google and I hope that the line comes up, you know, like a nice lyric.
That's all you need. That's all you need. And then it will find it. It will 100% find it for you. That's the beauty of Google.
Something that I really, really am like, damn, like what did people do back when like they couldn't like look up a song? Where you just like fucked and you never heard the song ever again? Because that's sad.
You had to go look through your cassette tapes or wait for it to come on the 9 at 9 and then get to know the songs. And then you would have to record them on the cassette tape or LimeWire.
Mixtape. That's when you had people making you mixtapes. Have you heard that there's this new like date option where you guys like make each other like a playlist? Where you like can share and like do a playlist?
Gonna be honest, I never ever would make somebody a playlist only because it would either be like I'd super embarrassed of the songs that I'm doing or like halfway through I'd give up.
My girls and I would make mix CDs for each other. I also had my POI make me a CD. It was The Weeknd's new album.
Oh
We've
my
discussed this before.
God. That's sexual.
Oh, I had a boyfriend do a Kings of Leon for me, like a full Kings of Leon.
Your sex is on fire. Am I correct?
Yes.
Oh, I love when I slay.
Yes. And those were my ringtones for specific people when they called, like most of that CD for a minute.
Who had sex on fire?
Who had sex on fire?
Who?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just answer.
Who?
Yes.
I had Marcy Playground Sex and Candy on mine.
I wasn't that wild, but yes, I loved that song, but didn't get like that, like crazy.
I smell sex and candy here. Who's that?
Who was the other one? Was it Fiona? Like Fiona Apple? Wait, is that her name? Fiona. She also had like a crazy like a criminal.
'Cause I'm
Those ones
feeling
always,
like
yeah,
a
those ones always were like hot,
criminal.
like
Yeah, that was
sensual,
also
crazy like songs back in the day.
Branch
Yes,
is what we call it.
100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's where things would take a turn when you like heard someone.
the Q101 generation had a lot of those.
That's why I was a local Q101 jamboree, get after it, hitting it up all the time. I was a weird kid. I was like the girl shopping at Hot Topic while also shopping at Abercrombie. So I had like a weird mix of like a style.
I was the child shopping at Abercrombie. Was Justice around when you guys were kids? Or was that just in my generation?
It was a little before your generation.
They had the little scratch and smell shirts where like it would be like a marshmallow and chocolate and you would like smell it. That's when I was in my camp phase and that was my Jesus phase, guys, okay? We don't need to talk about
Were you
it.
going to like Jesus camp?
I went to Camp Manitoqua in
I-
Frankfurt.
I went there. Like I
Did
think maybe
you?
like 3 times.
Me and
Yeah.
Aidan both went, but the thing is, he was a day camper. I was an overnight camper. So like, I'm just saying, if you were a day camper in my brain at the time, like you were a fucking loser, and then if you were an overnight camper, like you're like pretty cool, slay, you know, like you wish you were us.
I will say going to overnight camp was always where it was at. Overnight camp was like legit.
No, I want to go for a week. You get to like hang out, make besties with your cabin for like the whole week, and then you come home. Well, I mean, like, and in between you're doing Bible study and shit like that, but you know.
There was this show on MTV for a moment that had a run. Do you remember it? Where they followed around camp kids for a minute and it was like a camp drama and it was great.
I kind of do recall that, and now we need to look it up. I did not live the life of camp that you guys lived. I had to be at work the next morning. There was no overnight camp.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot that. I was like, girl, like this is like when we were kids, but I forget that you grew up in a greenhouse and like you basically were child labored.
Could not afford to send me to camp.
Child slavery that was happening in your family. She was basically living the life of what's the movie where they're
Holes?
like the elderlies.
Holes! No, that's like they get punished and they have to fucking dig for gold.
That's good. That's good. I was thinking the Adam Sandler movie with like the old people where they were like making the like crafts and he's like, we're gonna have to work double time tonight and it's that's what
Billy
I feel like
Madison?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was
Big
at
role.
Happy Gilmore where she was at the nursing home. I had a great time. Let's just say that. I did have a very enjoyable time.
Are they holding a gun to your head right now?
I would dig holes in the garden for the family garden. It was literally for the fucking
Holes and
family
holes.
garden. It wasn't even for like the business. And like once upon a time, my dad couldn't work for a little while. So my uncle took control of my dad's jobs and he would take a fucking yardstick out to the family garden, measure how deep I dug the holes, and then made me redig them if I didn't dig them deep enough. This is why I brought up holes. Well, eventually I had a couple storm out episodes where I was like, I'm not working for him anymore. This is unbelievable. I was like 13.
You had like a moment you needed to stand up for yourself. I mean, a yardstick, that's actually pretty fucking deep.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I probably just would have been like, yeah, I'm not doing that, and then walked back into the house.
I didn't want to disappoint my grandma.
I feel like I would literally be sent to my room without like food and water if I didn't do that. I would feel like I would have to do that.
Well, my house was in the back of the greenhouse, so I would just have to like throw my shovel and run away.
I so badly like I really need like a picture of like your home and greenhouse like so badly.
I can take you someday.
You guys can go on an adventure. She can tour you around.
And then Alicia will give me a hard time because I went back to my home of origin.
And there's people living there. You can't do that anymore.
It's not a weird thing. A lot of people drive past their old houses. Alicia, you get to go to your mom's house that you grew up in, where all of your memories were stored.
Yeah,
That's it, period.
because my
Period.
mom's a hoarder who doesn't leave and refuses to move anywhere ever. So she's like lived in like 3 homes ever in her entire life.
You have parents that move a lot, or you have parents that never move?
When you do have that, then you need, it's like a drug. Like you accidentally drive past it one day and you're like, ooh, do I have a minute to pull into the parking lot? Yes, I do. Let me just real quick do like a little roundabout, and then you take in a memory, and then you just go on your way. It's not like a big deal. It just kind of is like part of the drive.
I mean, I take your word for it. I just like don't have that feeling. Like I have no interest in driving past my grandma's house anymore.
You're just not that sentimental.
I let go of that. You guys say that, but I hold on to a lot of things.
Not out loud.
Exactly. I keep it inside like a winner. And you go into your basement and you cry over photos by yourself, like a normal person.
I still do that, and I still drive past houses.
For me, like I personally just like go through like pictures of my phone and cry in my bed. I don't really go in the basement and cry because that's kind of creepy. I'm getting flashbacks to the last like the episode that I just edited where like Alicia would sleepwalk into her basement. I'm like, why are we doing this all in the basement?
Well, a basement is naturally where you hold things. And also I have bins because I have tubs. I have tubs full of actual photos because I'm of the generation where you printed off photographs.
You know my generation still does this. We just don't do it like all the time.
Debatable.
You can just send it into Walgreens and like for like 50 cents and you spend $5, you get a whole fucking album. It's great.
So I still have all of those. And every once in a while you like to take a little gander down memory lane. It's very nice. And then sometimes they make you sad. And then you cry. But you do it alone.
I usually do it like in the middle of the living room on the couch after Willow's gone to bed, and then like just enough so that Bill comes out of the office and sees me bawling, crying. And then I just say, I'm just looking at old pictures again. And he says, typical.
How often do you do this?
That's when it comes about, like when you come across a photo album and you got the time.
I mean, you guys say this, but like Luke had an entire like few videos like surfaced where he would take recordings of me crying at commercials. Like if it was like a commercial that was sweet, or there was so
What
many
commercials?
like
Like
well,
Chef
I
Boyardee,
can think
like
of- I can
rolling
think
to
of
the
one
fucking
that
door.
really got me, and it was the one where it was a family and they had just had a baby, but they had an older dog and they were nervous about the older dog, so they got the older dog something to like get the baby and the older dog to be together, and it really got me. Mind you, I think they were selling like laptops. It wasn't even and they would always get me, and Luke somehow always knew, and so he'd be ready and he'd be recording and I'd always be crying. And like he did it in a movie theater, he did it in like there was a Google one that got me once, he did it on a plane. I mean, it doesn't matter. There was a whole series that he had of like photos of me crying at commercials, and I'm an emotional person. I just try to like maintain that I'm not an emotional person because
That's what I thought about you when I first started like getting to know you, and then I realized that Alicia actually is a very emotional person. She just puts up like a front where it's like, no, I'm hard cold bitch with tattoos.
if I just let my emotions be my emotions every day, guys, I would just be walking around crying all the time.
But then maybe eventually you would stop crying because you got it out of your system, you stupid.
I don't think so.
Actually, shut up,
I
Nora.
don't think
Let me
so.
keep doing what I'm gonna do.
I don't think so. I feel like that is not the correct way to go about that.
The body keeps the score.
Well, you would think that, but I've done years of crying, and I'm gonna tell you right now that there's still more tears. So
Have you guys seen like that one sound where it's like, I think of you all the time on TikTok, where it's like all like the old like animals that die, and it's like a whole slideshow of like it like goes like from like them like being puppies to like them being like, oh, like we don't have more time together. And I swear to God, Alysia and Nora, like, oh my God, it's so sad. That's my equivalent to like looking through photos. Like personally, I'm not like a look back at my pictures and cry, more like look at like an old dog on TikTok and cry because it died. And that's what really pulls at my heartstrings. Because I would sacrifice myself 100 times for a dog to live.
Speaking of old dogs, this weekend we were a couple of old dogs doing the same old tricks. We had an impromptu.
Loved that transition.
We had an impromptu hangout that kind of just like jumped from like a quick, let's just debrief, drink some coffee, have a bottle of champagne, and then like go apart our separate ways to like continue on with our weekend. That just started with champagne and ended with all of us laying on the couch while the basketball game was going on to have our gentleman take care of us and bring us back home.
It did escalate quickly. I will say that.
These things happen fast.
It did. It had good intention. It really started out. I mean, I asked for coffee. I'm sticking to that story. I did ask for coffee.
Got it. And you left it in my fridge. And the next morning I woke up. I said, I drank some of it because I said I need this immediately.
I'm glad you did. I started out with good intention. I'm gonna tell you right now, these girls in the text message said, I don't even need food. I just need rosé. And I, in my brain, said, I need food. But I didn't respond. I panicked and I said, oh, I knew immediately when I saw that this day was not going to end well for us. When I had just woken up and my friends didn't even want to eat.
I put the bottle of champagne in the freezer as soon as I knew the girls were going to come to my house and meet because I had a wedding that I was working on and that I had to deliver. And it was like a pretty simple setup. So I was like, we could go get a little brekkie, we could go shopping, whatever anybody's feeling, I'm down for, but I need to go deliver this wedding. So everybody came over. We just started chatting it up, busted out the champagne, distributed it 3 ways. And then all of a sudden, here we are on the way, all 3 of us, to go deliver and set up the wedding, which was wonderful. I loved having a team with me to help do that. And I also got a referral. One of the bartenders like messaged me.
Wonderful.
I think she just liked our vibe.
I mean, we were fun, except for the old man who yelled at Brittany outside.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, he definitely did. He definitely went hard at Brittany about moving her car.
The setup was at this location that I have a situationship with. And so I feel a sense of ownership of the space, but also a sense of fuck off, I don't care. I'm going to get my job done and get out of here very quickly. And it's great. It was set up great. We like the bride and groom. We were going to get in and out of there, which we did pretty fast. But there's also a retirement home next door. And we parked in like a loading zone, which we were loading. So it was 100% fine that we were parked in that spot for the 7 minutes we were there setting this arch up. So yes, there was a little hollering. And then seconds later, we were back in the car heading off to lunch because we decided it was time to eat food. I think we might have possibly had road sodas at that point in time.
Oh, that was when we were informed that for the first time in the history of forever, Nora was out of vodka in her home.
It was weird.
Well, her husband has an entire distillery in their basement, and yet no vodka in sight. So we had to go to tequila at 10:30 in the morning.
NGL, there's a little controversy with my favorite type of vodka right now. So I'm a little hesitant to buy more. I'm fine with Tito's. The other one is my choice. And I was out. So yes, We went to the Tequila.
Although cleaner of a liquor feels aggressive. It feels like a very aggressive morning decision to make.
Yeah, like a mood, like definitely a mood changing situation. We took Alysia for her first time to one of our favorite Mexican restaurants down the street from my house, which I think went very well. We pounded some food very fast. And then all of a sudden, somebody screams out, Johan, bring us tequila shots. And I said, oh, I thought we were paying the bill and leaving.
Surprise.
Because I don't think I finished my margarita.
Oh, we all did. We all finished our marks.
Well, the margs, let me just tell you, I swear to God, they have Everclear in them.
They're huge. They're like a fishbowl style margarita to begin with, where you can only have one because it's a massive amount of liquid.
And then you also want to hydrate at the same time.
Which, by the way, I had a strawberry jalapeno margarita. Fire.
That's a do for next time. So the shots come out on this little shot board. They're double the size. They're like a double shot. And so we took our little shot, and then another one came around. And luckily we were right down the street from my house. So we did our little shots and we went back to the house. And it just kind of like tumbled down from there. We had a little bit of a day. We did not expect it to go in that way. My mother-in-law was over. Apparently we were being too loud because Bill said the whole neighborhood could hear us. My mother-in-law found herself in the basement from time to time. Apparently Denise said that Kylie heard us and Willow from their yard when she got home from work, and she was going to come over and say hi, but she didn't. I just don't believe these stories that we were being so loud. But we did make our way out into the front of the house where
I disagree with that. I mean, honestly, I feel like we were just chit-chatting and enjoying ourselves. And I feel like the octave with which and Bill would like us at is a whisper, clearly, unless Bill's getting drunk and then Bill's allowed to scream. I don't know when they would have heard us unless it was like when you were doing kites, or
I think it was maybe during the bonfire session of our day.
there's a lot of event portions. We bonfired, we did kites with Willow, which, I mean, I feel like could have put in a little bit more effort, to be honest. She wanted to do these kites.
Brittany was fucking jogging.
And yeah, and Brittany was just hauling ass down the street, getting these kites up and going. And ass was just kind of like, mine doesn't work anymore. And yet she wasn't actually doing anything with the fucking kite, just thinking that the non-existent wind was gonna do something for her. So by that point I was too cold and too drunk. I was videoing, and thank God I was, because Nora fell.
As Willow's mother, I felt like it was necessary. Auntie Brittany really gets out there. She does.
She is a very hands-on mom aunt. She is the mom in the mud. She is the mom that's like, oh, you want to play robber and cop? Perfect. And she gets full costume, full guns, running, scaling a fucking mountain. She's just so in playtime with the kids. And it is wonderful. I'm videographer aunt.
I can't tell you exactly what happened besides the fact that I just needed to get out into the street. And I had my Birks on. This is what I'm going to say. I had my long flares. I had my Birks on. I was drunk to the point where Bill was home and he was looking at me. And usually I'm like, I'm fine. And I was like, I can't even say words because I'm so intoxicated. So yes, I did. And I not only fell, but I took it down to the knee. And I scraped up the old knees. And then I fell to the ground laughing. And then I just had to lay there because otherwise...
It was my favorite part. You were just rolling around for
I'm going to tell you, as I once discussed today about the trampolining, when something like that occurs and it's funny, I have to be very careful I don't pee my pants. So part of that was probably me struggling to not pee myself after I fell over.
The one time that I do recall falling in the street when I was drunk was my big little reveal when it was a complicated time. Let's take it all the way back to the vid. Okay, so COVID was happening, and I went to school in the fall of 2020, and I was rushing for G5, made it into G5, but then I went home because literally everything on campus was getting shut down because people had COVID.
And Susan.
It was awful. Who's Susan?
Wasn't that the lone lady?
Oh no, Jean.
Jean.
Fuck Jean, by the way. Fuck you, Jean. And so I had left campus, went home, but I still was a part of it, and it was still big little reveal time. So I came to Bradley for it. And this was like the beginning of like drinking. Like I drank a lot in like high school, but like I feel like it's a different vibe going from high school like basement parties to like freely drinking on campus. And so it was our big little reveal. I like just same way that you said that like you kind of browned a little bit like on your guys' little get together. Girls, instead of GNO, we got GDO, Girls Day Out. And yeah, I blacked out. At one point, I remember ending up like there was like the Express where like you get all your alcohol from on campus. And I remember for some reason we were behind the counter with the guys that were working there. I don't fucking know why. I literally could not tell you why. I just remember standing there awkwardly being like, I am not fitting in at the moment. This is not working. And then at one point we went to the G-Fi house, and for some reason the curb and the street, you know, like the fat curbs, instead of like a curb, there's like a curb. Like it's like a foot curb kind of a thing. And so I was running across the street to get into the G-Fi house. I didn't realize that it was a curb and not a curb. I literally fucking face planted. So my palms like skid across the street. So they were all scratched up. And then I still have a scar on my knee. I literally split open one of my favorite pair of leggings because of it. And yeah, that was the one time that I really do. I mean, I've fallen a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like I've woken up with a lot of bruises. Do I remember it? Is it like a Britney falling down the stairs at a Betty Who concert sort of fall? No.
That is a classic story. That is a classic story. She took out an entire pub table.
We'll discuss this in a further episode. Go ahead and check back with us.
We will have Brittany on to tell you that story. She's been elusive. We trying to nail her down.
Every single Wednesday I've asked Nora and I've asked Alysia, said, so is Brittany coming? Because not only like would Brittany be great for the podcast, but I also just fucking love talking to Brittany. Like she's just always a fucking hoot, and it's always the best time.
I did text her today separately saying you should come on the podcast tonight, and ghosted.
One day, guys, the elusive and, wonderful Brittany who falls sometimes will be on. Don't worry. We will nail her down to a chair, and she'll be in the hot seat, and you guys will be able to listen to her.
We ended the night with our Uber drivers. I was already home. Bill ordered pizza for us, we needed sustenance.
I called my lovely, lovely husband and asked him to bring me sweatpants and wine. He did. He brought more booze, which I did not need, but was blessed to have, and sweatpants, which I was very happy to have. And then I fell asleep on the couch, sleeping on Brittany's butt.
I just kept turning around and looking to see what condition Brittany and Alysia were in. And I kept getting up because I still had a child. And I would go in and check on her. And she was very content with her day. So we just kind of checked in every once in a while. And then I would just be passing out on the couch. And I would turn over, and Alysia she committed to her sleeping. Brittany was, as she says, she cannot fall asleep with the TV on.
When you're tired enough, you really can fall asleep with that on, but it's like when you wake up at like 2 a.m. and it's still blaring and you're like, let's turn this bitch off.
I can fully commit to sleeping with the TV on. I fall asleep to a podcast every night, guys. You should ask the girls about when we were in Florida together and they wanted to share a room with me. And I said, no, I'm good. I'm going to go listen to murder in my bedroom alone.
I'm not like a accidentally fall asleep on the couch kind of girly. Like I'm feeling tired. I'm going to get ready for bed. So like I wash my face, I brush my teeth, I put my retainer in.
Yeah, we want to know about your full night regimen.
Okay, so first I'm gonna go about like my night routine, and then I'm gonna go about like the routine, for like the skincare and all that shit. So, number one, I like my bedtime routine. I like to journal. I like to do yoga. Read on an occasional night. Sometimes I'm a binger on TikTok, but that's like maybe like a Sunday scary sort of a situation, like it's not like a typical thing. So then my thing is then I'm like, okay, time for bed. Usually if I want to do like yoga, I'm like, I want to like have my face and my teeth like brushed and like washed and everything. So I go down and brush my teeth. I have a
You do it
little,
before you yoga?
yes.
I feel like it's like a little bit of a cleansing.
Nighttime yoga for me isn't like sweat inducing. It's more like relaxing. So like in the daytime, I'm like, if I wake up and do like a sun salutation sort of yoga, I'm gonna do that after because it gets the sweat and like the blood flowing. But at night it's more like a evening stretch, wind down, calm down, literally roll up your mat, lay in bed, and go to bed. And then I fall asleep easy after that. So like last night, for example, I did a literal like 8-minute little yoga. But before I went downstairs and for my little routine, I brush my teeth, but I also have like a little like water pick flosser, which I love. It's changed my life. I got it from my mom for Christmas, but I'm gonna be honest, I use it more than she does because it's life changing because it's one of the ones that are like actually like attached to the wall, so you can like turn up like the pressure on it. It's great to get off all the little stuff, brush my teeth. I wash my face with the CeraVe like foaming cleanser because it's like moisturizing, but it's also good for like removing makeup because I wear makeup. I just like to I'm not like a makeup remover. I'm just like a put soap and water on my face, wash it off. Then I go upstairs. I have my little routine. I feel like for me, I'm not like a complicated girly. Some people are kind of complicated, which I feel like when you guys go over your stuff, it's gonna be very different from mine. But mine is I literally have the CeraVe moisturizer and then I have the Clinique uh like 72-hour like moisturizer because I have really, really dry skin. And then if I'm feeling like really, really like self-care, I'll do a nice little like eye mask. Like the Pixie ones from Target and I'll just put it underneath. And I usually do the Pixie always in the morning time, but sometimes at night I'm like, I'm really feeling like the under eyes need some love right now. Put my hair up in my little bonnet, and then I put my little night guard in, and boy, do I look like a snack at night.
I feel like Alicia is similar in like having a routine.
Yes. Actually, just talking about this, I'm glad we're actually talking about this because I was honestly had in our esthetician to get her hair done this Friday, and it overlapped with a few clients that we share with this esthetician. And we were just talking about routines and how some people like don't quite have like a 2-a-day routine, like a morning and a night, or they struggle to have both a morning and a night because sometimes they're just too tired at night and they don't want to like wash their face. I and Nora actually talked about it this morning. She was like, "You went to bed without washing your face on Saturday after our girls' night." She was shooketh. I will never not go to bed without my routine.
I was shook because that is not normal.
That's usually how I am, but if I'm drunk enough, oh fuck, it's going right out the window. I'm going to bed, makeup and all, and we'll do the routine in the morning.
That's kind of what I mean about the like, you know, whatever shakes out.
Oh no, but I would say like 90, like 7% of the time, same routine every single time.
You will not catch me going to bed without my routine happening. And I can confirm that because I was at Nora's house and I did a routine at Nora's house instead while drinking so that I didn't have to worry about said routine when I went home.
That was part of my, I would say like beige out. I was beiging out a little bit because we were just kind of doing our own little routines. And then the eye patches came out.
I love an eye patch.
We'll confirm that I have probably like a solid 5 to 7 minute regimen.
Okay, so I used to do like the gua sha. You guys know what that is, you know? So I used to do that a lot. Honestly, it's something, one of those things, like once I'm not in school and stuff, like kind of like working out, that I really want to re-implement. But it takes so much time to do, where it's like I need to sit down and like do this, do this, do that. So yeah, I get 5 to 7 minutes. That's a lot. Like you have to make space. It seems like it's not a lot, but that's 5 to 7 minutes that you could be like literally running out of the door.
I also want to be very clear that I do my night regimen when I get home from work. So it doesn't have to be like,
As soon as you come home, like it's like 5 p.m. and you're doing it.
yes. I feel like this changes things for people then. They hear that and then they're like, "Oh, okay."
This changes a lot, because no, absolutely not. Because for me, it's like if I'm staying up until 11 p.m., I'm not doing my routine until 11 p.m. because what if I get hungry? Oh my God. Wait, tell me all about this. I'm so
Yeah, go off, go
I don't
off.
get this. I don't get it.
So, this is what me and Lindsay and we were like discussing this, and she was like, "Yeah, I mean, I tell a lot of people to actually do that. I'm glad that we're discussing this." And then my client was also like, "I'm so glad we're talking about this. This makes so much sense because when I get home and then I wait until too late in the night, I'm now too tired and I don't want to do my regimen." And I said, "This is why this is my night regimen, and this is why I have to do this. Is because what ends up happening is I get home from work." And if I know I'm not doing anything else for the rest of the evening, I don't have plans, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not like pit stopping on the couch, but then we're going to dinner, my ass is going upstairs, we're stripping down to my cozies, and then I'm 100% doing my night regimen then. We're in. I'm not going to do my like teeth regimen at that moment. Like I'm not brushing my teeth and putting in my night guard.
Fair enough. But my only thing is like,
The debris on the skin.
like you're eating and like there's like crumbs and there's grease and like,
Excuse me, what the fuck are you doing with your food that gets so wild?
I mean, like I'm not like a fucking insanely messy eater, but you have like all like the like corner of your mouth and everything, and like
From what? You clean that shit off after you've eaten.
in my sort of like cleanliness like brain, I'm like, but like why would I like clean my face until like it's the end of the day and I'm not gonna be like touching my face on accident or like,
But but here's something to think about. You do know that you're probably sitting on the couch still touching your face while you're just hanging out relaxing, which is even dirtier. So like I'm gonna say like you're defeating like the entire purpose of like your concept of like
100%. Like I completely understand what you're saying, and I very much agree. But like in my head, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like
This is the most carefree Alicia is about things, is a 5 p.m. regimen for her skincare.
I love that you guys really stuck onto the 5 p.m. like as if I'm home by 5 p.m. So I really love that. I really love that that was what you guys are going with that. It is 10 p.m. right now, and I'm like clearly not at home and not have washed my hair. So and I tell you, it ranges. It ranges every day. So yes, maybe Tuesday and Friday are the earliest day I do it. But every other day, it's like whenever I get home from work, which could be 9 p.m., it could be 11 p.m., it could be 7 p.m., it could be whatever time that is. And when my esthetician backs up my concept, because guess who also does that when she gets home from work and does her night regimen at the same time? The esthetician.
Break down the regimen.
So, well, here, let me go through my Reggie and then I could tell you what I do and don't do. So, I have in the morning time, I have a specific cleanser. I use a multi-use cleanser that my esthetician has given me. I have no fucking clue what it's supposed to actually do, except it's like a multi-cleanser. So I use that one in the morning. Then I go into a toner. Then I have a fulvic. Then now I've had to add serums into my life. So I have a CBD serum. I have a beauty oil serum. I also have my moisturizer. So I have two different moisturizers. I have a daytime moisturizer and I have an evening moisturizer. One for anti-aging and one to lock in all that moisture because I also have very dry skin. So we're talking serums, on liquids, on other things. Sometimes I have like another serum that I'm supposed to use. And honestly, at this point, I don't even know where it's supposed to go in the regimen because at this point, I have so much shit in my regimen that some days I don't know where to use it and not use it. I also have that needleless serum. I use that, love that. So I put that into my regimen. I also have this great wash that's not a wash, it's called 3-in-1. And I use that when I work out. So I use that like in between my regular washings. It's a cooling, it's cucumber, it's like a toner, but it's also a wash. And they say to use that as your in between. So this is what I was going to say is like, say you did do your night regimen, and then a few hours later you felt like you got wild eating your fucking crummy ass faces away like you guys do. And then you did want to like clean the dirt crumbs from the middle of your mouth. You could always use something like that. Yeah, so I would think like something like that at the end of your evening, like to do like a once over again to like before you had to get into bed, maybe would feel like that. Or like say you then decided to work out. I don't know where your life is going to take you. Maybe you did your night regimen and then all of a sudden you're like, I feel the Peloton calling and now I want to get on the bike. But now I got to like wash my face again or whatever, like there's always like the next steps. This isn't like a hard, I do that and I can never do anything again after that. It's, I also don't do my night regimen and then like lay on my bed like a fucking stiff like human. Like to me, you know why I do it is because then I can get all cozy in my comfies, and then I do feel like I'm better to be like laying like on a blanket and like smash on my face and not feel all like grossed out because I did clean the day off of myself and then get it all serumed up. So I gotta lather all my shit on. Well, also, it takes like 30 minutes for all of mine to absorb is what it feels like because I have so much shit on there.
Macy, did you do your night regimen and put on your bonnet and also your night guard this weekend when you were in Bloomington?
Okay, so something about me is that I'm really, really good with my face routine when I'm at home. Something about me is that I'm also really, really bad when I'm not at home. Also, I'm like a really bad packer. Like I pack last minute for everything, and then I only end up overpacking clothing and makeup, and then I forget like basic shit, like I don't know, fucking lotion for my skin.
I went on a bachelorette trip. I forgot underwear. And then also sleeping shorts. And I spent an entire weekend sharing a room with Paige, my cousin, and I had nothing to sleep in and no underwear.
I mean, honestly, I'd rather not forget that. It's rough, it is, but okay, so to answer your question simply without being broad and long and drawn out, no. I did do my face routine, absolutely. Well, I didn't really bring my face wash or my face lotion. I also did not bring my mouth guard or my bonnet. You know what I did bring? I brought clothes for the week or weekend. I brought pajamas. I brought underwear and socks and bras. And I brought my makeup. And then I came for the weekend and I said, oh, fuck. I also brought my toothbrush, so that was good. I had toothbrush. Didn't bring toothpaste because I said somebody else will have toothpaste, so we'll be fine. And yeah, so I brush my teeth every night. Yeah. But I need to get better with it because I also like love wearing my bonnet. It's really hard to get the kitchen in there right now with the short hair. It is. The kitchen be coming out. She's trying to cook back there, and I said, no, girl, get back in that bonnet, okay?
Were you in Bloomington, Indiana or Illinois?
Bloomington, Illinois.
This sounds like Macy does country. Sounds like Macy and Aidan go country.
I, for some reason, in my mind, thought Bloomington, okay, like it's very underdeveloped, like not that like big of an area. It's like a very like nice area. Like there's a lot of like food, breweries, restaurants, like houses. It's very developed and like it's literally just like suburbs, but like
College town.
Honestly, I didn't even see any of the colleges.
Well, I mean,
are they like near there or are they around? I saw nothing. All I saw was we are literally in a suburban area of Bloomington, Illinois. And I was like, We did go to his like grandpa's like farm. So he had like horses and chickens and things like that. And we rode around on an ATV or I don't even know. He said it was something. I can't remember what it was. But it was a whole little vibe. It was great. I got drunk a lot.
That sounds cute.
Yeah, it was super cute. It was like Macy and Aidan. Well, it was also like Macy and Aidan like meeting Aidan's mom's side of the family after he hasn't seen them in like 15 years. So it was like we basically were meeting his family, both of us for the first time ever. But they were all a great time. They were hoots. There were two girls. I thought that we were the youngest there. We were the second youngest. But then there was like his uncle's daughter and his daughter brought a friend for the weekend. I'm sure that friend was like, what the fuck am I doing here right now? And they were 16 in high school. And so they were like super young, but they were like the 16-year-olds that like didn't hang around. They just like went in like the room and like sat on their phones.
This sounds like she brought her girlfriend.
I would always bring a friend to things.
I didn't think about it like that, but they didn't have the tension though.
Just the way that you were describing it.
Okay, but like to be fair, I was the girl that would always bring the friend to stuff, and so that's why I'm like I didn't think about it that way because they also like weren't acting like that. They were really sweet girls, and I think because I started talking to them and was like, why aren't you guys hanging out with us? Like all this stuff. I was like giving them so much shit. It was a great time to sum it up. Bloomington, Illinois. I didn't hate it. I did not hate it. But then they were talking about it, they're like, oh, it's not so bad. You live out here. And I was like, bitch, no. 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 It's too far from the city. It's not relevant to the story. But yeah, it was a whole thing. It was nice. I honestly, Alysia, going into the weekend, she was like, Macy, this sounds like my worst nightmare. And I was like, you know what, Alysia? Probably mine too. And then, because I was going for moral support for him.
That's very cute. It was very sweet.
You know, he hasn't seen these people in a while. It's also a thing to do, like to get to know his extended family. Just got to do it here and there, unfortunately. And honestly, I was like, yeah, but we left like Saturday because he was like, we could have stayed until like, all Saturday night and then left Sunday morning. And I was like, I would have been fine if we stayed. Like, when I first initially went there, I was like, oh fuck, what did I get myself into? And then by like the end of the weekend, I was like, I literally like actually really like these people and I had like a decent time. So I think overall it was like a 9 out of 10 weekend, which I can't complain about.
That's wonderful to hear.
And I got to see horsies. I got to ride on a little ATV and it went so fast. I didn't have to, well, at first it was not starting because Aidan had not started it in a while. And then he accidentally put the parking brake on it, which for some reason at those things, they get stuck. And so like it wouldn't come up. And so it was a little embarrassing for him. I giggled at him a lot. And yeah, it was just a fun time. And then yeah, came back and here we are. Bloomington changed me, guys. I'm now a country girl.
You know what?
And give me a horse, please.
The four-wheeler probably changed you. Really?
Well, I was really expecting it to be like the one where you're like, meow, 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 and it was not.
No, it's not like a dirt bike.
Well, I asked Aiden, I was like, am I gonna like hold on to like you while you do it? And he was like, Macy, he's like, it's a 2-seater. And I was like, well, I don't know what we're talking about then.
You just hold on anyway because it's romantic.
Yeah, it was chilly. That was really, really chilly. And I also was kind of jealous because I was like, they were talking about oh my God, why am I talking in a country accent?
Because Macy's gone country.
Oh my God.
That's why I asked because if you
Oh
were
my
in
God.
Indiana or Illinois.
And they were talking about the solar eclipse though, and they were talking about how they were gonna get like 98% coverage, and I was like, well, damn, now I really want to stay here and I want to see the solar eclipse because it sounds really cool.
That's why I thought you were there. Like I legitimately heard that you went there and I was like, oh, that makes sense of why she was going there because she described it as, I don't know where we're going. We're just going to like boo-foo somewhere. And
But fuck nowheres, I'm pretty sure how I described it.
yeah, and I was very confused why she didn't know every single detail like I would have liked to have done.
Something about me is if it's a family, like organized vacation, getaway, or whatever, I'm along for the ride. I don't know what the fuck is going on until we get there. And then I'm like, so what are we doing?
It sounds like an eventful family, and that's like what you want to be a part of.
Tequila shots. That's how, like, I think that's a big telltale sign of like the weekend is that like we took a lot of tequila shots together. There was one night where it was the last night, so it was Friday night, and we were drinking, having a gay old time, like you word it yourself. And I think all I remember us like hanging out at like the table, they like rented a VRBO for like the entire like family to meet up and stay there. And all I remember is waking up at 2:30 in the morning to yak my brains out. Because we like went to a restaurant. We had like it was like shrimp, all that stuff. And so I remember yakking up all the food that I had at the dinner. And I was like, oh my God, I don't remember going to bed. I was like, I don't remember anything. And so then we woke up the next morning, we went upstairs, and Aiden's mom was like, you guys just like disappeared and never came back up. And me and Aiden both looked at each other and we were like, we don't remember putting ourselves to bed at all. And he was like, yeah, I think we just like probably looked at each other and like, it's bedtime. And then we just like went to bed and oh my God, the puke was bad. It was like, oh, it was so bad. But then I literally puked and then I went right back to bed and it was amazing. So
I love that for you. I didn't have to puke at all this weekend, and that's very unusual for me, especially when the tequila gets involved.
dude, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but like when my stomach is full after drinking, I'm a puker. Like I am a puke and rally. I can literally puke and then keep drinking because sometimes my stomach just gets too full. I don't really know. It sounds kind of grody, but like it's just true. You just pop in a piece of gum and move on with your night.
Well, I hope you guys are full from hearing about our shenanigans this weekend and no puking for you. I think Alicia might be over there possibly looking for something to lead us into this next couple of weeks with some words of inspiration. What do you got?
You best believe I am. There's been a lot that are speaking to me inside this book, but some of them are like corny ones, like hang in there.
Nobody knew that this book was going to be such a gift.
This isn't the book.
Oh,
This is a
that's the
different book.
Davines
I
one.
went into.
That's
Yeah.
cute.
I went into Davines gives us a Christmas gift every year, and it's a book, and it's usually like an inspirational book or a book that's like written by a great leader or something to, help us into our next year. And the one I'm going to read this passage from to send us into our next week is from a Davines book that was given to us. Okay, I like this one. It says, don't let busyness and stress cause you to focus on what is urgent instead of what is most important.
Like your face routine.
Amen. Snaps. So, just like that, go home, wash your fucking face.
You dirty bitch.
You can feel free to journal or do yoga after your skincare routine. Just make sure that you brush your teeth before you go to bed.
Put in those teeth guards and enjoy your evening. Finish up your drink. You might not have a jacket because the weather is getting nicer. And really look forward to a great week because I hope you guys have one. We had a great week. So hopefully you guys did too.
See ya.
Bye.
It's Nora, Alysia, and Macy.
We are a girly podcast and we are on the floor.
Did I go the wrong way?
You definitely did.